MrBeast is going to show you how to get 1 to 10 million subscribers in only 30 days like he does. MrBeast is the biggest creator on YouTube with over 250 million subscribers combined. He gains over 20 million subscribers per month and he averages over 100 million views per video. So I asked MrBeast how to gain 1 million subscribers in only 7 days.
That's easy.
But he sent me his full course of not only how to gain 1 million and the 5 million but up to 10 million subscribers in only 30 days. And I'm going to try this challenge at the end of this video, but if I fail, I'm going to delete my channel. So here's the full course of what MrBeast taught me.
If you're a YouTuber watching, let me just unload everything I worked my life for you.
The ideas. The roots or source of all viral videos or success in general is the ideas.
Obviously, everything starts with an idea. The idea does make the difference between, like, if you're averaging 2 million views a video, you could get a video that gets 10 million views if you just had the right idea. So it's like very crucial. For most people, they could spend 100 days uploading videos every day, get 10,000 views a video, or they could just sit down, come up with a good video, and just get 1 million views in a week. Right? That's like the mindset.
I love that
you should
mindset.
Have. Yeah. So when you realize that, you realize like you should put a lot of freaking time into
fewer,
thinking of the
bigger,
idea.
better.
Or not even that. Like ideally, if you could come up with a mega banger every day, you'd upload every day. So the difference between a video with 1 million views and 30 million views, the video with 30 million views usually didn't put in 30 times the effort. Like they might have put in 2 or 3 times the effort and just had a way better idea. And so once you kind of understand that, you realize that like the idea is so freaking important. Like theoretically, most YouTubers watching this, you can pull triple the views with half the work if you just have better ideas. Like no joke, it's that extreme. Once you realize how important an idea is, you just obsess over, well, how do I get more ideas? How to get better ideas? Just like the ideas and everything, we just try to, basically wherever everyone else is, we just try to be like 10 times bigger, crazier. Just make it where you're like no one else. If other people start doing what you're doing, then go bigger.
If I see an idea, I can just tell, like, yes, 100 million people would want to watch that. Or no, like, that's more like something that's a little more niche, but it would kill that niche, and then, but that's probably like 10 million views or 20, you know what I mean? You don't even really study the algorithm anymore. You just kind of study what do people want to watch. If you want to get 100 million views on video, you don't go, how can I trick YouTube to serve this to 100 million people? It's just not going to happen. You just think, how do I make something that 100 million people will want to watch? And then YouTube will give it to them with the data tells them that 100 million people want to watch it. For me, it comes pretty easily. It's just, I don't think the video is great, just don't upload it.
I helped one of my friends pull like 10,000 views a video. I gave him an idea. I'm not going to say who it is. And then he did the idea and he filmed it. And I was like, that's garbage, refilm it. And then garbage, refilm it again. And third time he filmed it. He's like pissed off at me. And then he uploaded it and got 8 million views. And his channel like 10x 10 subscribers. Yeah, and then he was like, I'm so sorry for getting mad at you. I was like, oh, it's whatever. The idea is a big part of the video, you know, not even just from clicking it, but whether or not people watch it. You know, if you're spending 24 hours in a corner, that's just not as entertaining as spending 24 hours in a jail cell. And at the end of the day, like the only difference there is the idea. It's not the content. It's like, it's what you formulated beforehand. And for me, I like to make my videos a little longer. So that's a big part of what ideas we do. So we just, the biggest thing is, you know, obviously a clickable thumbnail and title, interesting stuff, yada, yada. But is it something that people will genuinely want to watch? A lot of creators think click-through rate is just like the title and thumbnail and did they click it? But a lot of it too is, did they enjoy your last video? You know what I mean? Like, because if someone watches a video of yours and they loved it, you can bet the next time you recommend it, their chance of clicking is a lot higher, you know? So it's like, is it something that can be entertaining for a long time? Is it something that if they watch this next time, you know, they see a video of mine, will they be excited? Like, I love that last one, so I want to watch the next one. Like those two type of things. And then obviously, you know, is it just interesting and clickable? And so that for, you know, ideation, that's obviously the first and foremost.
How to come up with big ideas and how MrBeast comes up with his crazy ideas.
So yeah, like I like to spend an hour a day. You know, it's dwindled recently. We have a lot of ideas, but if you spend an hour a day thinking of ideas, it's pretty hard to not expect your channel to do better, you know, unless you're just not executing them properly. If you know why it's that important, you gotta, what inspires you? You have to study that type of stuff and you brainstorm an hour a day minimum, things like that.
I would like only watch things that like inspired me. So I would like try to watch a different show or different things or different genres for inspiration.
I work really well when I intake inspiration and I see what pops in my head. That's like the most effective way for me to come up with ideas. So it's like, I just try different ways of intaking inspiration, whether it be like traveling, random words, flipping through a dictionary, things like that. And that's always, for me, been the way to like consistently come up with good ideas.
Click-through rate and average view duration. Click-through rate and average view duration are very important. To understand, here's what MrBeast manager Reed said about MrBeast on click-through rate and average view duration.
I thought he was just the most fascinating person because I would just listen to him talk about YouTube. He showed me this graph at the time, and it was essentially like a y-axis and x-axis, and he had all his videos dotted on this graph, and there was a correlation between all the videos based on the CTR and the AVD of the video. And he's like, I did all this research, I've done it for multiple channels. If I can get in like this CTR plus this AVD, videos get over 10 million views. And so in his mind, he was like, that's all I care about is getting this CTR and this AVD on videos, and I know my videos are gonna get over 10 million views. He did say he had 1 million subscribers when I met him, and he was like, I'm gonna have 10 million subscribers by the end of the year, get 9 million subs in a year. Like, that's crazy. But he was like, no, here's what I'm gonna do. And he kind of laid out the plan of how he was gonna grow. But he ended up crossing the year at 13.3 million.
This video is also gonna show you everything on how to get millions of subscribers the time you reach the end of this video.
I've done podcasts where I've literally laid out exactly how to go viral, every little thing I know, and they're just sitting out there. And it's funny because people will listen to them and then like just explode on YouTube and make tons of money.
Also going to go over everything on
exactly how I blew up, how I got 20 1.2 million subscribers. Just things I learned along the way.
Titles and thumbnails. So how important is the title and thumbnail?
Very important, of course. If they don't click on the video, they don't watch it. You can't get 10 million views unless 10 million people click on the video. So, I mean, it's literally that simple. If they don't click on it, they don't watch it.
How to consistently make the best titles?
The way I like to phrase it is you want to make it so interesting that like if they don't click it, they'll wonder, you know, when they're before they go to bed, like what happened? You know what I mean? Like if you upload a video, I rode a skateboard with 1,000 other people on it, and you have a thumbnail with 1,000 people on a skateboard, right? And like people are falling off the side or whatever. I'm envisioning like a giant skateboard and people like hanging on the side of it. Maybe it's like about to go off a big ramp. If you don't click that, you're gonna like be so curious. It's gonna be on your mind, you know? Later in the day when you're daydreaming, you're gonna think like, huh, what happened? What happened to those 1,000 people on that skateboard?
For example,
You need something, original. How to go viral is probably, it's not something like super original. You need a really strong opinion probably. Like you need to say like what you're saying is like, I like bananas. And what you need is bananas are the best goddamn food on the planet. Like that's the type of opinion you need. Like you need something like how to get 100 million views on YouTube, or not even that's not strong enough. You need something that makes people go, what the fuck? You know, and like click, you know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? It needs to be extreme. It needs to be like how to go viral. That's not gonna cause someone to go, damn, if I don't click that, I'm not gonna be able to sleep at night. You need something that legit will have people be like, what the did he say in that video? What the I need to know.
And when you really boil it down to the people who are watching, just think about it. Like, what do you think YouTube wants? Like, to me, I think YouTube just wants people to click on a video and watch it, right? I mean, that's how they get their ad revenue. That's how they keep, viewers happy and stuff like that. I mean, I'm sure comments, like, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, they want you to click, watch a video, click, watch a video, and just do that as long as possible. So, to me, what's important is click-through rate, getting people to click on your video, and then average view duration, average view percentage, or just relative retention, and, having them watch it. If people are clicking your video more than they click other videos, and they're watching it longer than they watch other videos, as simplistic as that is, that's, like, what YouTube wants, and I think that's how you just, be successful.
to go viral, create titles and thumbnails first after the idea.
Whereas most of us creators will create our title and thumbnail the very last part, the best creators in the world do it very first. Look, MrBeast and Mark Rober start with a title and thumbnail. They know that if they can make a killer TNT they know their audience will want to click on, that guides their filming, editing, everything. Start with the title and thumbnail instead of doing it last.
Ed from Film Booth blew up a channel with only 5 videos by following this exact strategy.
In fact, it grew so fast, YouTube made it creator on the rise on the Explore page. And what's crazy is it only took 5 videos in a new strategy to do this. Make the best thumbnails you can, but also make them before you do anything else. And I even wrote on the next page, never break this rule. It really will allow you to come up with more clickable packaging because doing these things first means you're not limited by the content of your intro. The first video sticking to the one rule we had absolutely flew in terms of her own channel, and it destroyed her previous personal best. In fact, so did the second, the third, the fourth, and the fifth, and a couple of her videos, all sticking to my golden rule, ended up getting 1,000 views an hour, and these view numbers went on for weeks. With the videos then working as a team, the subscribers then shot up from a handful a day to 1,000 plus, and 4 of her new videos hit 6-figure view numbers in a very short time. To give you some context, her previous personal best was 37,000 views on a video, but it had taken 2 years to get there. Liv's channel picked up over 21,000 subscribers in a month, a 3,000% increase.
Even MrBeast uses this method.
Sketch out the thumbnails beforehand to kind of see if we like it. Like, we just get it where it's like, okay, this is good. Because a lot of people do the inverse. They film the video, and then they realize, oh, I don't like the thumbnail. But you're in too deep. You already filmed the video, so you kind of have to make do. But I'd rather have that existential crisis before I film the video. That way, I can make changes. We get better at making thumbnails every year. So it's more, when I upload a thumbnail, I usually think it's good, and I don't change it most of the time. But what happens is, like, 3 years later, I look back, and I'm like, oh, that's a horrible thumbnail. And so it's usually like every 2 years, we just go back and update a lot of our older thumbnails because they're terrible. That's just like the new knowledge we have and what we've learned. And funny enough, that actually usually does help quite a bit when we update the thumbnails on old videos. They usually do see a little bit of updates. So just, if we take an old thumbnail where it's like seeing if whatever, like 100,000 magnets can stop a car, and it just looks terrible. And then with the new stuff, I know we zoom in a little bit so it's a little more visible and make things look better. Then magically it starts doing a little bit better because now people actually understand what it is because I'm not as much of an idiot anymore.
There was definitely like a million things I just learned along the way, because it was just literally the growth just steadily went faster and faster over the course of the years. But the biggest point was when Bubblecop Jordy showed me a graph where he took all his videos and he graphed them by click-through rate and average view duration. And the ones with the higher click-through rate and average view duration combined got the most views. And like videos with low click-through rate but high average view duration did all right, and high click-through rate, low average view duration did all right. But basically it showed that the higher both numbers are combined, exponentially more the views are. And that's when I was like, oh. So if I just get high click-through rate and if I get people
sounds easy, but
yeah, well, but then it's like, okay, so just the higher these two metrics are, the more views you get, and then it's just about obsessing how to get the numbers up. Really, everything I did from the beginning, I always tried to be different. So once I just found out about click-through rate, it was just making the thumbnails a little more brighter, and obviously just learning things here and there, and then just adjusting as we went. Because when you think about it, what does YouTube want? They want people to click and watch a video, click and watch a video, which sounds obvious, but to a lot of people, they haven't figured it out because they think it's either clickbait or average view duration. I don't think many people, and it seems so obvious, but I don't think many people realize that it's both, and the higher both are, the exponentially more the views.
So how do you go viral?
A few weeks ago, I met MrBeast. I showed him some of the footage from this video I was working on about these shade balls in LA Reservoir. And MrBeast took one look at it, and he said to me, that's a banger. Which I think is pretty funny. Clearly, he knew that this was going to be a video that would take off. And we talked about titles and thumbnails. You might have noticed that the thumbnail borrows a bit from, say, his work with cereal and Orbeez in backyards. And I told him that I was thinking about calling it something like Throwing Shade Balls. And he was like, no. he suggested, why are there 96 million black balls on this lake? This goes to show how important the title and thumbnail are. What I learned talking to MrBeast was that going viral, you can boil down to 2 metrics. You need to do 2 things with your video in order for it to go viral, and I mean tens of millions of views, as his channel shows. Okay, the first thing, maybe not surprising, is watch time. So when people click on your video, they actually have to watch a significant portion of it. Number 2, if you want a viral video, you need to have a high click-through rate. So that is the total number of clicks on your titles and thumbnails divided by the number of times that title and thumbnail have been shown. That is your click-through rate. And MrBeast showed me this graph showing that as you approach, 10%, 20%, 30% click-through rate, then the number of views and the number of impressions that video will get just skyrockets. It jumps dramatically. Now, on the one hand, that kind of makes sense because, people are clicking a video, obviously you're going to get more views. But it is such a dramatic increase that it really turns the site into a place where the title and thumbnail are everything. You can have a great video, but unless you have a great hook to get people in, it's not going to go viral.
The hook or intro. How to make a viral hook or intro.
And number one thing when making a video is you need to know that in the first 30 seconds, the majority of people decide whether or not they're going to watch your video. Such a crucial moment. And so if you want to convince people to watch it, you really got to grab them. The borderline, just say the title. I launched a $100,000 firework. And the very first frame second, just say,
This is the most expensive firework in the entire world, and it cost me over $160,000.
So they're like, okay, the title and thumbnail wasn't a lie. And then just be like, and you should watch this because I'm going to like this firework plus this $50,000 firework plus this $10,000 firework, and I'm going to send Chandler to the moon, and then just stick on topic. Like that right there isn't even super complex, but that would already put you in the upper echelon of YouTube.
Essentially, your title and thumbnail set expectations, and at the very beginning of the video, to minimize drop-off, you want to assure them that those expectations are being met. If you click on a video where, of his, where it's like, Tether is a scam, and at the very beginning he starts talking about literally anything else, then you are like, oh, this is bullshit, this is what I clicked on. But if at the very start of the video you go, Tether is a scam, and I'm going to teach you why, then it's like, okay, you match the expectations. So at the very beginning, match the expectations, and then you want to exceed them. So you want to assure people that what they clicked on is what they're getting, and then blow their mind and be like, but you're also getting even more. That's how you lower drop-off, which a lot of people, sometimes it takes them like 20 seconds to really meet the expectations, and so you lose, that's where you're going to lose everyone. Everyone's videos start like this, and then it levels off. So you want to reduce the amount of people that click off on the audience retention. So then once you get it to level off, it's just how do you keep it level until the end of the video. And that's where you want to have, you basically want to remove every dull moment. You probably want to find the 10 most critical people you know, make them watch the video and just roast it. You want to, I enjoy having people watch the videos and watching them. There's some things you can do where like you basically pay people to watch the videos on frame and then just have them record it. And I love just seeing like when they pick up their phones and when they get bored and like, certain things, like if I just talk to a camera for 10 seconds without a cut, like a lot of people will just like get bored or they'll lose interest. So like having a B cam and a C cam and you can just talk for 10 seconds, but 3 seconds in cutting to a B cam and then a C cam. Like now it's interesting, even though it's essentially the same thing and not that crazy. But you want to have good pacing. Typically having a payoff at the end keeps them, right? Last League Circle wins 10 grand. If there is a low moment halfway through, you're going to watch the end because you want to see who wins the 10 grand. So having a good payoff at the end.
I try to, when filming, put in as much work, even if it's like a 15-second part of a video, even if that one little part will take like 10 hours, wow. That 15 seconds is like, wow, like that's great. Like I feel like viewers genuinely notice when you go the extra mile. And so with filming, it's just like trying to make sure we're doing everything we can, no matter how expensive it is, no matter how much time it takes, to make the best video possible so they have the best experience. And so they want to, obviously watch more videos because that's what you want the viewers to do.
Make sure no one doing what you're doing is doing it better. Make sure the videos are as good as possible. I mean, there's a million little tips I could give you. A lot of people, though, they underestimate effort in videos. They think things are a lot more basic than they are, but like if there's just a 10-second clip that took you like 20 hours to film, like people recognize that. And like that is one thing that a lot of people undervalue is like viewers aren't stupid. They can tell when you really put in effort. And like if they can tell you're putting in a lot of effort, they're going to be more likely to click on future videos. And that snowballs. And because once you build that trust, they get to a point where it doesn't matter what you upload. They just know it's high effort and they just know it's great. And they're just conditioned just to watch because you have a good track record. Clickbait's relative because one thing though is like if someone enjoyed your previous video, that also determines your CTR on your next video because if they had a good experience, then they'll click on the next one. If they had a bad experience, doesn't matter how good your clickbait is, they're not going to watch the next one. Your intros sometimes are a little long and I can find some ways to up the potential a bit. Sometimes you literally sit there and talk for a minute. Why do you do that? That has to be horrible for retention.
He was so particular about that edit and how it was edited and how the video intro looked. That's when I knew I was like, his brain just works differently than any other creator I've met to this point. Like if he's thinking about what does this 10-second intro look like and he's obsessing over that, I've never heard a creator obsess over a 10-second intro in my life. But he's like, this is how important this is because this is literally the hook of why people would stay for this 20-minute video. And so that video went on to get, 70 million views.
With editing, just no dull moments, have a good hook at the beginning. Some minor tips I could give is like, if I do a video like Last League Circle wins 10 grand, obviously people are gonna watch to the end because they want to see who won the money. So you could apply that to your videos. If somehow you could have a payoff at the end, then more people are gonna watch to the end just to see what happened and cut out all dull moments, try not to over-explain things. If the camera just sits on me and I'm just talking for 20 seconds, it doesn't hold retention as well as, maybe me talking and other footage popping up. There's things like that if you just, there's literally in your analytics, and most of you probably know this, audience retention. You can see where people click off. Just literally go through your last 50 videos, write down where everyone clicked off, and then just don't do those. I've seen people literally start a channel and within a month hit 100,000 subscribers. I've seen it. I personally know someone who had a channel with 100 subscribers, and me and my boys, other YouTubers that I feel like have a good understanding of how YouTube works, we just helped them optimize the video. And literally 100 subscribers, he got 3 million views on a video. And that was with no artificial push. It did like 50 views, 5,000, 10,000, 50,000. It just stair stepped up every day. And so it's 1,000,000% possible. You can just tell when a video shouldn't go viral. At the beginning of the video, just tell, like literally the simplest thing, just tell them why they should watch it. You know, if you're putting 1 million Orbeez in a pool, don't start the video with you shopping for, you know, your mom's birthday present. At the beginning of the video, just say,
This is 100 million Orbeez. We're gonna fill this pool and this entire backyard with them. Match the expectations, and then you want to exceed them. So you want to assure people that what they clicked on is what they're getting, and then blow their mind and be like, but you're also getting even more.
and then that right there should, you know, be at least slightly sufficient. So for most people, it's just that they're just not hooking viewers, and the video ideas just aren't that entertaining. A lot of people blame the algorithm, but typically you can just look at the data and point to it.
Let's take the FBI video as an example.
After we hung out yesterday, I went back and watched the FBI video, and I watched the first 40 seconds, and I was sitting with Colin showing him, like, a lot of what we talked about I was seeing in those first 40 seconds, and I was like, you really do all those things. And those first 40 seconds were so jam-packed, and you introduced so many new things, like so much new stuff between both the visuals, too. I mean, even the concept that you say in the first 40 seconds. First of all, visuals are already changing, but you also say there's an NFL stadium, there's a private jet, there's a maze.
This is why you should watch the video.
Yeah.
See these things. Yeah. And like the thing people undervalue the most is literally the first 10 seconds of the video. Like, I think I can quote it. I tied up an FBI agent. I have $100,000 in this bag. Here's a knife. Good luck. And I just run away. Like, it gives you everything you need. No wasted words, short, concise, and then tension.
How much time do you spend on those openings?
I'm a perfectionist. I really, it's so important. Like, that's your first impression for everyone clicking on the video. So like, I like the whole time leading up to that, I'm just constantly obsessed with mostly the first minute, just like making sure like if I were to click on this video, I would like the first minute and that it would hook me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you had a video of ours that you said you were interested in the thumbnail. You clicked on it, you were bored after 5 seconds.
I can tell you, it was the one about the hype house.
Yes.
Why everyone's in the hype house. And I showed them on my phone. I was like, the title and thumbnail made me tap, and the red bar was like so tiny you could barely see it because I clicked off in 8 seconds. I was like, this is me in my house 4 days ago before you came down. Clearly, you just didn't grab me.
And you predicted that about 40% of the people left in 10 seconds. It was exactly 40%.
I could tell.
Yeah.
And I told them the remedy for this is they need better friends. 100%. The fact that no one's like calling you up after you uploading that and just roasting the hell out of it. Like, someone should say like, hey, you guys are too smart for this. Like, you're better than this. You can make a video better than this, which is what you should do.
Average view duration. Make the best videos possible.
One thing I've learned, and I think you've probably learned this as well, is like everything you want as a YouTube creator, every freaking goal you want to hit, whether it be subscribers, you want to hit 1 million or 10 million or whatever, will come if you just make the best videos possible. So my goal is to make the best YouTube videos possible. And so if my hypothetical goal was 300 million subscribers in 10 years, that will happen if I just make the best videos possible. If my goal is to get 50 million views a video, that will happen if I just make the best video. Whatever it is, you know, just focus on making the best videos possible, and all these other vanity, arbitrary metrics will just fall into play. I don't mean that in an arrogant way, but that's just kind of like the mindset you have to have. Like, go hard and believe in yourself, you know?
It's crazy that if you have 100 subscribers, you have 5 subscribers, if you upload a good enough video, it will get views. Like, if you're not, majority of the time, you're just not making a good enough video if it's not getting views. You know what I mean? If that's your goal, to get views. You can get 1 million views on a video even if you have 100 subscribers, if the video's good enough. You can. Promise. I've seen it happen a bunch.
Get people to click, get them to watch, and just make sure they're happy. That's it. Literally just 3 things. It's the click-through rate, whether or not they clicked it, the AVD, average view duration, and the one that you don't really get to see is like those surveys. You really just have to make sure when people click your videos, they love it. That's why we're able to get so many views, because we've consistently put out, obviously I'm biased, but great videos over a long term where people are just conditioned to see a MrBeast video, they click. Oh, MrBeast click, MrBeast click, and they'll just do it. And every time they're not let down, so they keep doing it. And where a lot of people fall off is like they break that trust by having one bad video, and then like, oh, every other video is kind of and then you like when your video is recommended to them, it leaves it up in the air. They're like, well, is this one of those ones where it's kind of shit, or is it one of the ones where we put in effort? I don't know. But this guy always makes great videos. I'll just watch them instead, right? And so that's what happens. Like, I did a podcast one time with Colin and Samir, which like they averaged like a couple 100,000 views a video, but that podcast got 12 million views because on average people listen to that podcast for 45 minutes. It was only like an hour and 20 podcast. So because YouTube could see people were watching it for so long, that's a great indicator that they loved it.
Is that like the biggest thing they use to like push a video is retention?
Yeah,
watch time.
Yeah, without a doubt. Because if on average 1 million people click a video, it's 10 minutes and they only watch it for 2. Why would you serve that video over a different one where on average they watch it for 8 minutes? Clearly they enjoyed that 8-minute one way more.
At least semi-enjoy what you're doing, or you're gonna quit long before it gets to the point where it brings in money or whatever else could be driving you. So find what you love, and then I would just hyper obsess. Make sure no one doing what you're doing is doing it better. Make sure the videos are as good as possible. I mean, there's a million little tips I could give.
What helps us make the best videos possible? That's the only question you should ask me. Subscribers don't matter, views don't matter. I mean, they do, but all that comes. Everything you want as a creator comes from making the best videos possible, and thumbnails. But it's easier to make thumbnails. The video part's the hard part, and that's the thing that you're known for. No one's known for having. No one's like the biggest YouTuber in the world because they have the best thumbnails, right? It's also because they have great, phenomenal content. You know what I mean? Like that's the hard part that very few people do well, and that's what people remember. You know what I mean? Like you're not gonna have some random dude when you're walking down the street of Paris go like, "Yo, that's the guy with the great thumbnails." You know, they're gonna be like, "No, that's the guy with the phenomenal videos that whatever, held his breath for 40 minutes underwater or things like that." So that's a tip for you guys, but also you guys watching. Ask, how can I make my videos better? Do that every single day for years, and then you'll probably get views. You guys should be getting, in a perfect world, like 4 or 5 million views a video. Like you should. Like you guys are smart enough. Like if it's not, then it just wasn't a good enough video in my opinion. If you upload, you're not like, this is a banger, this is gonna bang, no doubt in my mind, even though you're gonna be wrong 90% of the time, then it's not a good enough video.
You still have to have that feeling. Even if
you should have spent more time
let the audience tell you you're wrong. Don't put it out when you already know you're wrong.
Exactly. Yeah. 100%.
So how do you make the best videos possible?
Like I always believed in it. I just believe as long as like if other people are spending $100 on a video, and now I'm spending 100,000, but even back then 10,000. If other people are putting a few hours into a video, I'm putting a few days. Like I just knew eventually it would work out. Like there's just the difference is so not to like sound egotistical, but that was always my viewpoint on it. Like just make it where you're like no one else. If other people start doing what you're doing, then go bigger. Yeah, just like the ideas and everything, we just try to basically wherever everyone else is, we just try to be like 10 times bigger, crazier.
If I spend, me and my team spend like 10 times more time than everyone else brainstorming ideas, which we probably at this point spend 100 times more time than everyone else. We spend $500,000 to $1 million video, whereas normal people are spending like $1,000 or $10,000 is an expensive video now. And we just, sometimes we're filming for 3 or 4 days, like 10 hours a day, 30, 40 hours of filming plus months of setup, whereas most creators probably film for a couple hours and set up for a day. I think for us, by always doing all those things, it just distinctively sets it so far apart that it's basically, in my head, it's like, why would you not watch it? You know what I mean?
It's very simple. You just make videos that people want to watch, and YouTube promotes it. It's like to a T, like disgusting how simple it is. But the funny thing is, people fight me on that. And they'll be like, no, you don't just make videos people want to watch. You gotta like play to the algorithm, and you do this and that. And it's like, no, stop studying the algorithm and start studying human psychology, and you'll crush it. Yeah, like we've had a 1-minute video get 100 million views. We've had like a 4-minute video get 100 million views, an 8-minute video, a 12-minute video, a 25-minute video. We've had every range. Like it doesn't matter the length or anything. It's just gotta be something people are interested in and they want to watch. My threshold has always been, do I find it entertaining and do I watch it? I just spent so many years just studying what does well. And I've seen so many hundreds of thousands of videos probably at this point because I don't watch movies. I didn't even listen to music till I was like 20 years old. I would just obsess, study retention charts. We'd scrape a million videos, see where the dip is. Like I know everything. Like anything where like the story comes to a halt without a reason just kind of hurts retention. Really, at the start of the video, you got to get them interested and get them watching. And then basically, I mean, it sounds obvious, but just don't have any moments where you veer off story unless there's a really good reason and just end it really quickly. Like those are the only things that are constant. And then how you do those are really up to you. Like if you're like, thank you for coming out to the podcast, they're clicking off. And so as you're saying that, I go, no, thank you all for coming out to the podcast. And then we do that for like a minute. You're just like nuking your retention. People are already gone. So like if Buried Alive, if at like the 49-hour mark, I'm like, guys, this was a great video. They're clicking off. And then I go back to another story. So the second you wind a story down, end it. Like, quickly. On YouTube. On movies, obviously you get more leadway.
So how do you keep viewers watching the video?
Optimize and plan your videos. Real talk. Most people struggle on YouTube because they don't plan their videos. Instead, they turn on their camera and freestyle. But if you take a look at some of the most successful channels on YouTube, you'll notice that they all plan their videos ahead of time. Why is this important? Well, put yourself in the shoes of someone that's watching videos on YouTube. And whether you're on YouTube to learn or to be entertained, you probably have a very short attention span. Plus, YouTube is suggesting cute cat videos left and right. So if the video you're watching isn't super engaging, you're gonna click away. And when someone's rambling and tripping over their words, you're gonna say, next. In today's video, you're in this video, you're in today's video, you might in this video, you're So unless you're an absolute natural on camera, I recommend using an outline or script.
It's very hard with a single storyline if you're doing like a double-digit minute video to just have that one thing grip their entire attention throughout the whole video and pay off at the end. So typically if you're doing a longer video, you should introduce like a side story and like you should have some plan halfway through like to re-engage them so they don't just get bored. You know what I mean? Like if I just said, like if I hand you a camera and a camera, I was like, okay, if he tags me, he gets 100 grand, and then I just run and that's it. It's just me running through the woods and him just running through the woods after me. You can't make a 15-minute video out of it. You know what I mean? But if I do that and then like 3 minutes in, I pull a lever and a bear comes out and starts chasing him and he has to get away from the bear. I don't know. Obviously we wouldn't do this, but kill the bear. And then he starts chasing me. And then 6 minutes in, I jump across the lake, and as he goes to jump through, I press a button that shoots him to the moon. Whatever. You know what I mean? Like now all of a sudden it's interesting and you're watching, right? And that's it, right? One is just a single story and it's boring. The other has side stories that like re-engage people.
So that like introducing other narratives.
Well, actually, you know how we were talking about Dylan earlier?
Yeah.
So he just said, I'm getting close to 70%. I'm almost a decent YouTuber. He sent me a graph where his new video had 65% retention.
Oh, wow.
Because I told him if he doesn't get 70% retention on a video, then he didn't do something right.
Wow, I don't even want to pull up our retention.
Yeah.
70%. That's what you need. If it's below that, figure out how to get higher.
One great example of adding other narratives is your Reacts channel.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really interesting because you guys are, I watched your parkour reaction.
Yeah.
And you and Chris are reacting, but at the same time, Nolan is losing money when Chris says a word that he can't say. And so it's like already I just said something that's multiple narratives that are happening at once. That are there's the visuals of the parkour, which are already really interesting. There's your reaction. Then there's Nolan losing money.
Exactly. And then the payoff at the end where you're like, well, how much does Nolan make? I just watch it honestly, and I just like if there's ever a moment where I'm even slightly bored, I'm like, cut it. And if there's something where I'm not just like, wow, you know, like the whole time, then it's like, don't upload it. It's not good.
And does it weigh on you at all that you're like, man, but
I've
we
probably
invested
scrapped over 100 videos in my life, like completely filmed. I've spent probably, I don't even want to pull a number on it, but ungodly amounts of money on videos in my life that don't get uploaded. I don't give a best video possible or get it out of my face. I don't care. We're very, very serious about it though. I don't think you have multiple cam setups here. Like if I'm talking to this camera and you're not cutting it for too long, that's boring. You'll lose retention. But if I talk and you cut to that angle while I'm talking and cut back, and you know, it helps it.
So back to the viral thing. Pull up MrBeast Gaming and Espanol. That answers your question, right? We didn't promote that channel. That first video on that channel got like 100,000 views. Now read off how many views it's on now.
It's got 10 million views.
Exactly. All organic from the algorithm. It literally, in the second video, got like 100,000 views day one, I think, as well. And it's on 11 million views. Because, and these are dub videos. These aren't even the original, like, best quality versions of them. But because these videos had 70% retention, despite being dubbed, they had really good thumbnails, and they were just interesting shit. Even though it's a completely different language on a brand new channel with no promotion, they still went super viral. And that's where, like, I hate when people are like, well, the video only does well because you're popular. We can go into new languages with people who have never heard of me and still get giant 10 million view videos just because the videos are good. And it's not because they know who I am. It's just because the videos are good. They just are. They're interesting. They have good retention. They have good pacing. You can't find them anywhere else. And, you know, the thing I want to leave people with is people think it's like, oh, well, it's all like CTR and stuff like that. But a big thing that everyone underestimates is it's what was your experience with your last video? If people loved the last video of yours that they watched, they're more likely to watch your next one. And that's something that people take for granted because like we'll get trending and I'll notice a comment from someone, like we'll just pull it in, like Edward Jobs, right? And Edward Jobs will comment, oh my gosh, I've never seen Mr. Beast before. This was really cool. And then you can search their username like 3 hours later and they'll go, oh my gosh, I just watched 8 videos. Like, where has this been all my life? I just watched them give away $100,000, play $1 million game of hide and seek, build the world's largest Lego tower, do this, and this. And it's because, see, that's the effect you want. Most people, when they watch, for the YouTubers watching this, when people watch your video, they go, okay, that was good, but like that's enough of you for the day. Like it was all right, right? Whereas what you want is them to go, holy crap, that was crazy. Oh my god, what's that? Holy crap, that was crazy. Oh my god. And they watch 10 videos, not one, and then need like a week break because it was so that they have to recharge. You know what I mean? That's what you're going for. That data can't describe. And like I've never heard anyone talk about that, but that is it. That's how you get these high view counts because people watch 10 videos, not one.
The videos I was making when I was a smaller creator, I genuinely felt like, the algorithm hates me or this is unfair. But I just wasn't making content that deserved to get views. The videos sucked. Like, I mean, you just look at the retention graphs. People would click off at the beginning. People didn't know sometimes what they're clicking on. And like, if I wasn't retaining a viewer, just why would it make sense for you to promote it? Like, why would you promote a 10-minute video that people watch an average a minute and a half? It just doesn't make sense.
After I upload a video, I just kind of look at the retention chart and just try to see like, where did I mess up? Why are there dips? How could I have made it better? And that's really, I mean, there's infinite amounts of data, and like 99% of the time I just upload a video and then just see, did I lose retention, where you're at, and like it's really all you need. And then you take notes, and then you fact check it against previous videos to see, okay, well, I sneezed here and lost viewers. Did that happen the last times I sneezed in videos, or is it just like a coincidence? So this is the important part of the video. And then you just kind of take those and you gather enough notes over time where you kind of just start to see like, oh, well, the retention isn't as great when the rooms are dimly lit. People prefer a little bit brighter rooms or whatever, probably because sometimes it might be hard to see. And you just kind of gather all these notes, and that's really it. I like to try to end the videos with like a joke or like some type of emotional response. Like if you watch a video and you laugh at the end, I just feel like you're more likely to watch another video. It's just like, oh, it makes you think the video is better than it is. So I usually try to like end the video with something cool, but ideally, in a perfect world, the longer the video is that you can still hypothetically hold 70% retention, the better. Because you got to look at it in a sense of like, you're also kind of competing with every other video and stuff like that. So typically the harder it is to do something, the better it will do. If you can get 70% retention on a 30-minute video, I don't know, I've never met a single creator that can do that at scale. So of course it's going to go more viral than if you got 70% on a 10-minute video, obviously while people still rate high on surveys and like the video. So I like to look at more from a frame of mind as like, what is more difficult? And typically what's more difficult is done less, so we'll be rewarded more because the algorithm's like, oh, this is insane, we've never seen this before. Audience, oh, this is insane, I've never watched a 30-minute video and actually loved it before, this is crazy, you know what I mean? So that's kind of the stance I like to take. I try to aim for 70% retention because like whenever I look at other people's analytics, it's just 50 or 60. So I feel like 70 is just so crazy. Or if you can get 10 million people to watch on average 70% of a long video, it's like that's just it's kind of like it just is a good signal that people enjoyed it and it's a good sign. And so I try to aim for 70%, and then at the longer the video is, the more maintain it. Typically, the better. I don't know if you want to jump in.
Yeah, make the video as long as it needs to be.
Agreed.
While you keep the audience's retention. And if you see the retention dropping, then you're probably making it too long.
Yeah, because there's no way you're going to get a 70% retention on a video. That's just not phenomenal.
Like one of the OP things about hiring people is like, if you're editing a video, you can probably only devote 20% of your time to it, or whatever, 30%, 40%. If someone else is editing it and that's their job, they can dedicate 100% of their work time to it, right? So since they have 3 times the amount of time to edit that video, they should be able to edit it better than you, even if it's only 20% better, because they have more time. Right. Same with like thinking creatively or like building sets or doing anything. Like you have like as YouTubers, especially people who build side businesses and have side channels, there's like 50 things that need to be done. And if you split your time amongst it, they're all only getting a few percentage of your time. So like someone should be able to do that job better than you because they're giving it 100% of their time. And that's like the OP part about hiring people, which is obvious,
Quality over consistency.
Quality or consistent uploads. Quality above everything. Make the best videos you possibly can. That's at the end of the day, like that's what matters. How many times a week should you post? Here's the thing. The cool part about YouTube is as long as you're making content that the audience wants and consumes, there's a lot of different ways you can do well. There's no really one shoe fits all. People hate when I say that because they're like, well, that doesn't help me, but it's the truth. People do well with all sorts of upload frequencies.
Honestly, uploading less videos and just making them better. It's much easier to get 5 million views on one video than 50,000 views on 100 videos. It takes way less effort to get 5 million views in one video.
It's crazy that if you have 100 subscribers, you have 5 subscribers. If you upload a good enough video, it will get views. Like if you're not, majority of the time, you're just not making a good enough video if it's not getting views. You know what I mean? If that's your goal to get views, you can get 1 million views on a video even if you have 100 subscribers. If the video's good enough, you can. Promise. I've seen it happen a bunch.
This kind of seemed to make sense. Okay, so this idea, we assume that views reflect something about video quality. We kind of make that assumption. And so when there are, fewer views taking place, that means the video is lower quality. This is just kind of, I think, instinctive.
Get people to click, get them to watch, and just make sure they're happy. That's it.
Most YouTubers say consistency is key, but here's what Mr. Beast has to say on the question, is consistency key to grow on YouTube?
None of that matters. It literally does not matter at all.
There's so much misconception. Like, I don't even know where a lot of these people get this stuff from. Like, there is a lot of misinformation out there that like people like live and breathe by. They don't realize how badly they're like handicapping themselves.
But the funny thing is people fight me on that. And they'll be like, no, you don't just make videos people want to watch. You gotta like play to the algorithm and you do this and that. And it's like, no, it doesn't matter. One of the people I've been mentoring recently, he was doing $24,000 a month. and then he recently had a $400,000 a month on YouTube. This was before I started mentoring him. He was doing 4.6 million views a month, 24 grand. And then probably like 7-8 months into it, we got him up to 45 million views, and he had a $400,000 a month. Like, you could upload one great video a year and get more views than if you uploaded 100 mediocre videos. It's like it's very exponential. Like, in his case, he's uploading less, and even though he's making over 10 times more, it's with less videos, ironically. So and the videos are just better, and the fans are happier. Everything about it's just better. It's much easier to get 5 million views on one video than 100,000 views on 50 videos. Like, you could upload one great video a year and get more views than if you uploaded 100 mediocre videos. It's like it's very exponential. Like, to do well on YouTube, you just need people to click your videos and watch them. That's literally all YouTube wants. And so if you get people to click your video 10% more and watch your video 10% longer than mine, you don't get 10% more views. You get like 4 times the views, right? So you have to think like an exponential, right? Like, a 10% better video is 4 times the views, not 10% more views.
Right.
And so, like, once you understand that and you like funnel your energy better, it makes a big difference. So it's usually like just like, don't make your video shit. Put in effort. Like, put in way more effort. Like, really hyper obsess over these videos. Like, triple the amount of time you're putting into that video, because you're not going to get triple the views. You're going to get 10x the views. YouTube's trying to serve people the best content possible, right? They don't want to serve you 100 lame videos. They just want to serve you one good one. So it makes sense logically. Like, your homepage is curated the best videos possible. And so it's really just like making these videos really, really good, helping them build out a little bit of team, like an editor, because like, if you're doing 5 jobs, then you can only put 20% of your time to each. Well, if you hire an editor, he can put 100% of his time into that. So even if he's like 20% worse than you, he's still going to do a way better job, just because that's where all his time's going, and he's able to obsess over it. Like, you can't spend 10 hours a day editing, but he can.
When asked how long it would take MrBeast to go from 0 to 10 million subscribers from scratch by prioritizing quality over consistency, he said,
Probably 3 months, maybe 4. From 0, easily 3 or 4 months. Like, uploading less videos or just making them better. It's much easier to get 5 million views on one video than 50,000 views on 100 videos. It takes way less effort to get 5 million views on one video.
This is because, according to him, YouTube is all about knowledge and skill, not luck.
Jimmy, what about how much of YouTube you think is luck versus skill?
It's 99% skill. If you know what you're doing, you could do that 100%.
Even Eric and Ryan Chahan said the same thing.
95% skill. I could probably get back to like 100K in a month or so. I would say it's 98% skill / knowledge / learning. When you first get started, you can get lucky, but longevity is definitely from the knowledge.
Even Todd, the YouTube director behind the YouTube algorithm itself, confirmed this.
Tons of channels on YouTube that don't publish daily or even every week. You can still break into YouTube. There's no single pattern that leads to your success. So it really comes down to the content, whether you're engaging the audience. We don't have any rules in our system that say, oh, well, let's look at how often this channel's uploading and give it a boost or anything like that. So upload what makes sense for your audience and don't worry about the rest.
Other YouTube growth YouTubers also check on this.
Advice that you shouldn't take seriously is that you need to make a ton of videos in order to get results on YouTube. That's bad advice to just blindly say, just make a bunch of videos, and by the time you get to a certain number of videos, you're gonna be much better. If you blindly upload 50 videos, 75 videos, 100 videos, 200 videos, you're not gonna progress very much because you're just doing the thing, but you're not really trying to improve. On YouTube, if people respond to your very first video in a very positive way, that very first video can do awesome.
What is the #1 piece of advice that new YouTube creators are always given? Just be consistent. Until you post 100 videos, I don't want to hear chat. This is a marathon. Upload, upload, upload. That's it. It's easy as that. Just make videos. Okay, so you follow that advice. You work your butt off. You upload video after video after video. You stay consistent for weeks, maybe even years. And then nothing. What the heck is going on? There are right and wrong ways to be consistent on YouTube. You're not gonna really get anywhere by just uploading videos. You post videos and you get results by doing these 3 things consistently. And the first is consistently develop strong ideas. The foundation of any great YouTube video is a strong idea. No matter how good your production value is or how often you post, if your ideas are weak, your video will be too. It's just the truth. Listen to what MrBeast has to say about ideas.
The difference between a video on YouTube, and this is where I can go infinitely in depth, the difference between a video with 1 million views and 30 million views. The video with 30 million views usually didn't put in 30 times the effort. Like, they might have put in 2 or 3 times the effort and just had a way better idea. Once you kind of understand that, you realize that like the idea is so freaking important. Theoretically, most YouTubers watching this, you could pull triple the views with half the work if you just have better ideas. Like, no joke, it's that extreme. And so once you realize how important an idea is, you just obsess over, well, how do I get more ideas? How do I get better ideas?
The point is, it's not about the intensity of your upload schedule. It's about the intensity of your ideas that matter most, especially when the right idea has the strength to carry your channel farther than dozens of weaker ideas combined. Brainstorming should take time. Sometimes it may take several days or weeks to come up with a single solid idea, but I promise it will be time well spent.
An example of a big idea is the MrBeast Squid Game video.
What was different about the Squid Game video?
There's a lot of things, because A, it was a mega giga crazy trend, but that was also the first video we ever used CGI. I was like, I at most spent like $2 million on a video up to that point. That one we spent 4.2 million. So like it was like a mega ultra trend, supercharged with our biggest budget ever. We scrapped all our videos, went all hands on deck, 30 minutes of just everything. I poured my heart and soul into it, and like that. I think it was just like a right combination of everything. More money, more effort, more time, super trend, stir it all together.
So if you want to come up with the best viral potential video, you need to
focus 100% on quality, not quantity. Because here's the deal. A lot of so-called YouTube experts tell you that you need to publish lots of videos all the time, but it's simply not true. The fact is there are over 400 hours of videos published on YouTube every minute. So the world doesn't need more mediocre videos, it needs more awesome videos. For example, I grew my channel to over 100,000 subscribers with only 20 total videos. And it only took 7 more videos to get to 200,000 subscribers. And I'm not alone with this quality over quantity approach. June's Kitchen has over 3 million subscribers and he's only uploaded about 25 total videos. Bottom line, no one cares how often you publish, just that the videos you do publish are awesome.
Everything you want as a YouTube creator, every freaking goal you want to hit, whether it be subscribers, you want to hit 1 million or 10 million or whatever, will come if you just make the best videos possible. So if my hypothetical goal was 300 million subscribers in 10 years, that will happen if I just make the best videos possible. If my goal is to get 50 million views a video, that will happen if I just make the best video. Whatever it is, you know, just focus on making the best videos possible and all these other vanity arbitrary metrics will just fall into place.
So what makes a video great?
1 or 2 or 3 killer YouTube videos have the potential to dramatically change your channel forever. Look closely, because many creators got their big break because they had just one great video go viral. But what makes a great video? What do these successful creators know that we don't? Before you ever touch a camera, you need to plan your video and figure out why people will click on your video in the first place. Because nothing feels worse than if you film, edit, you make the highest quality video in the world, it's funny, it's hilarious, it's beautiful, it's literally perfect, except no one wants to click it. This likely means your video was an uninteresting idea. So before you ever even think about touching a camera or an editing software, do you see how important it is to have a killer idea in the first place? But we usually skip the part about coming up with a great idea and just go straight to filming and editing, right? Don't be afraid to spend days or even weeks coming up with killer video ideas, because literally anyone with a killer video idea and the skills to execute it will blow up. For years when I've worked with YouTube channels, they always are so concerned about, oh, how do I publish every week or even every day? What most of them never realized until we worked together is that one killer video will outperform 10 average ones. You can get way better results with way less effort.
Subscribers don't matter, views don't matter. I mean, they do, but all that comes. Everything you want as a creator comes from making the best videos possible. That's the hard part that very few people do well, and that's what people remember. You know what I mean? That's a tip for you guys, but also you guys watching. Ask, how can I make my videos better? Do that every single day for years, and then you'll probably get views.
Back then, when MrBeast was getting started on YouTube, there was no analytics for click-through rates, so that's the reason why he sometimes advised creators to just make videos.
Like 5 years ago, they didn't show click-through rate, so it was a lot more brutal of a climb for us because we would like look at all the videos and all the data that was in the studio, and we couldn't really ever figure out why certain videos with 70% retention, high ABD did well, and other ones with the same stats did bad. And so that was like, I was very perplexed for many years. And then whatever it was, like 4 years ago, you guys started showing CTR, so we could see the click rate of videos. And then it kind of made sense. It was like, oh, thumbnails do matter. And so that was great, but obviously you guys haven't.
So does this mean just uploading videos or consistency is dead?
I'm not shaming on that. Do it, you know what I mean? But like, that's not going to fast track you to where you want to be if you really took it serious.
Exactly. Just uploading videos consistently can somehow work, but it will take you years or a few months if you are lucky, because this method depends on luck, and that's not how YouTube works anymore. This is why MrBeast spends a lot of time making his videos by focusing 100% on quality and not quantity or consistency.
We work on videos probably 3 to 4 months in advance. So from start to when they get uploaded, it's probably like 1 to 2 months coming up with the idea, 3 to 4 months working on the idea, and then a couple weeks filming, and then like 3 weeks editing. So probably 5 months from start to finish.
I try to do videos that just can go viral forever, just constantly get views. Like, just clickable, watchable videos no matter how long, you know? Yeah. And that's where putting a lot of money and effort into videos really pays off, because the long tail obviously is way better.
Then what do you need to do to start coming up and making high quality videos from the start?
Just study. Just study YouTube, watch a ton of YouTube.
Study and learn about YouTube and what YouTube wants from the start. Learn everything on how to come up with big ideas, make great videos, titles and thumbnails, etc.
Basically spent 5 years of my life when I was a teenager just obsessively studying YouTube, watching YouTube 10 hours a day, obsessing over it. Like if a video got 40 million views, figuring out why, doing that just literally tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of times.
If you don't love YouTube, you're not interested in learning about it, you're probably not gonna have too much success, because everything we do is from the standpoint of making the videos as good as possible. So if you're not obsessed about that, it doesn't matter if it just gets OP when you just do it and other people doing it and you're teaching each other. And like if you want to be a YouTuber, if you're watching this, right, like, and you literally are grinding and you're obsessed and you're just every day studying and learning, you surround yourself with smart people and you just work like hell, to be honest, there's probably a good chance you'll make it.
Learn from other YouTubers.
Imagine a world where it's just you working solo and you work 12 hours a day every day for like a year, and you're just grinding, you make a mistake, you learn from it, you grind, you make a mistake, you learn from it, and you do that for like a year. And then imagine a different world where you have 4 friends who are also equally grinding in something similar. Friend number 1 makes a mistake on Friday, he teaches the other 4 people. Friend number 2 makes a mistake the next week, teaches everyone. And then like you're all learning from each other's mistakes. You're all constantly studying 24/7 and downloading each other. Like after a year, you're like 2 years ahead of the guy who was just solo. It really does make a difference, especially like my friend group. When I met a bunch of people when I had 10,000 subscribers, and we agreed not to drink, we didn't do drugs, like we didn't date, we didn't do anything. We just literally obsessed from the time we woke up to the time we went to bed. That's literally all we did. It's wild. Like one day I literally got up and we had an 18-hour Skype call, and then I went to bed, and that's all I did. And we were just tearing apart YouTube videos, studying trends and stuff like that. I don't even know how I got food. Like pretty sure I was just ordering food so I didn't have to leave my
house so we could keep working. Like, it was that level of obsession. Big thing is I tried to connect with other YouTubers, because a lot of what I know and what I've gone over, I wouldn't know without other YouTubers. So I would constantly spam like a dozen YouTubers a day. And like the first few people that I finally got in contact with, I learned so much off of, and they helped me understand how to make an entertaining video and stuff like that. So I just surround myself with these lunatics, and just every day, like, we didn't do anything. We had no life. We're all super small YouTubers, and we basically talked every day for 1,000 days in a row and did nothing but just like hyper study, like what makes a good video, what makes a good thumbnail, what's good pacing, like how to go viral. And we just call it like daily masterminds. We would just get on Skype every morning, and like some days, like I'd get on Skype at 7 a.m. and I'd be in the call until like 10 p.m. and then I'd go to bed, I'd wake up, and I'd do it again. And you know, we'd do things like just take 1,000 thumbnails and see if like there's a correlation to the brightness of the thumbnail to how many views you got, or like, you know, like videos that get over 10 million views is like how often do they cut the camera angles, or like things like that. We all had like 10, 20,000 subscribers when we met, and by the time we stopped talking, we all had millions of subscribers, and we all hit 1 million subscribers like within a month. It's crazy, because it's like, if you envision a world where you're trying to be great at something, and it's just like you learning from your mistakes. Like, you know, you mess up, you learn from your mistake, you mess up, you learn from your mistake. You in 2 years, you know, might have learned from 20 mistakes, or if you have like 4 other people who are also messing up, and when they learn from their mistake, they teach you what they learn. Stuff like that. Hypothetically, you 2 years down the road have learned like 5 times more of the amount of stuff. So it just like helps you grow exponentially way quicker. We were very religious about it, and so that's where most of my knowledge came from. They say 10,000 hours in master, something that we probably put in like 40, 50,000 hours. I mean, we're talking like every day, all day, like literally nothing. We had no friends outside of the group. That was your life.
It's like you want it so badly that like you just can't envision a life where you're not a YouTuber. It's just like you love it. You're very passionate about creating. You love making films. Like, then yeah, I 100% I think you can make it. You just got to train and be relentless. Here's the thing: if people knew what I know about how to, if you do well on YouTube, and I'm not saying like I know backdoor tricks or anything. I'm just saying I know how to make a video where people want to watch it and where it's interesting. Anyone, literally anyone, could make a good video with the knowledge I have in my head. It's like, it's just knowledge. You know what I mean? I could start a 0 subscriber channel and get it to 1 million subscribers just because you just know what to do. And so really, like, if you're that small YouTuber that like wants it, like, how are you learning? You know, if you're on a 3-year journey, how can you shrink it to a 1-year journey? By studying YouTube videos 3 times as much every day, or getting a better quality source of YouTube information. What are you studying? Like, or how are you improving? How are you practicing? There's logical ways to go about it, just like with everything else. Just most people don't, and they usually just kind of make the same average videos over and over again, don't really improve much, don't study much. But like, that's not going to fast track you to where you want to be if you really took it serious.
So honestly, if you're serious about YouTube, you really want to be the best you can, you could potentially save yourself years worth of learning by just studying people who've already been through all the things you're trying to learn about and are where you want to be.
Anyone can make a good video with the knowledge I have in my head. Knowledge is power.
Mr. Beast recommends studying books like The YouTube Secrets and The YouTube Formula. And the first 1,000 of you guys will get these books for absolutely free when you sign up using the link in the description after you finish watching this video.
Knowledge on YouTube is key, and it's very important that you surround yourself with the right people, because you guys do rub off and influence each other.
Yeah, I know that without a doubt in my mind, if I'm mentoring someone, like, there's a high probability I'll double their viewership, you know what I mean? And that I can provide a lot of value. So if I talked to myself 5 years ago, I could tell myself 5 years ago how to be where I am now in like 2 years instead of 5. Like, I know everything I need to know. Like, if you gave me a channel with 100,000 subscribers, I could grow it back to tens of millions and way faster than I did before, because it really is like knowledge is power.
It's not about hard work. It's not about trying. It's not about consistency. Those things may help, but they're not the thing. For example, how long do you think it would take you to grow a YouTube channel to 10 million subscribers? Some of you think that you can't do that. Some of you may think 10 years. Then ask the question, if Mr. Beast's channels were taken away from him, how long would it take him to grow a YouTube channel to 10 million subscribers?
Probably 3 months, maybe 4. From 0, easily 3 or 4 months.
A lot shorter than it would take me or it would take you. And the reason for that isn't because he would work harder, it's simply because he has wisdom. He has a more accurate depiction of the causes that lead to the effect of 10 million subscribers subscribing to your YouTube channel.
Yeah, I know everything I need to know. Like, if you gave me a channel with 100,000 subscribers, I could grow it back to tens of millions and way faster than I did before, because it really is like knowledge is power.
And that's why wisdom is power. That's why knowledge is power. The clearer you see the world, the quicker and the easier you are able to achieve your desired effect, you are able to achieve your goals. The more wisdom we can get, the more powerful we can be. And the more wisdom that we can get, the quicker and easier we are able to achieve our goals. And just understanding this will increase your desire for understanding, will increase your curiosity and increase your passion for really figuring out how things work. And hopefully my objective is for that to result in you being able to achieve the things you want to achieve a little bit quicker, a little bit easier than you were.
I mentored this one guy just for fun. I started, he was a friend, medium-sized YouTuber. He was doing like, I think he was doing 20,000. And this month, he actually just had his highest revenue month ever. He did $400,000 in revenue. And just by like listening to what I taught him, I know we were able to like 20x his revenue. And I was just like, with me just once a week, just telling him he was an idiot and what to do. And I do that for a lot of people. I just counsel people for fun and help them blow up their channels. A lot of times people, oh boy, it's like they think their videos are better than they are, honestly. And
tell them, Jimmy, tell them.
I mean, they do, and have horrible friend groups, because you really are like the type of YouTubers you hang around. And so, like, a lot of times, I'm just like, what you're saying is wrong. Who told you this? They're like, oh, this guy, and it's like, well, they're wrong. It's not true. And so, it's getting people with the right YouTuber friend group that will actually tell them when their content's bad, and like actually roast it, and help them get better in a nice, positive way. At the end of the day, if you boil it down, what YouTube wants is they want people to click on a video and they want to watch it. Like, at its core, that's what it is. Now, you can like draw little lines and go as deep as you want into how to get people to click and how to get people to watch. I mean, essentially, by studying the algorithm, you'll learn that you're more studying human psychology, right? What do humans want to watch? What do they find enjoying. Not because anytime you say the word algorithm, just replace it with audience, and it works perfectly. Like the algorithm didn't like that video. No, the audience didn't like that video. You know, because literally that's it. If people are clicking and watching, then it gets promoted more, and that's all. That's literally all the algorithm does is reflect what the people want to a T. And if you deny that, you just make terrible videos that are trying to find a scapegoat.
And that's how you stay on your A game, and you're always learning it.
This video is longer than I expected, so I couldn't add the challenge video in it. Subscribe to see my biggest video ever, where I challenge myself to delete my channel if I don't get 1 million subscribers in only 30 days. If you wanna know how to get 1 million subscribers in only 7 days from Mr. Beast, click here.